Hi, this is Astrologer Extraordinaire, Marlene. So, the topic tonight I wanted to talk about is what do you suppose would happen if the narcissist came into a lot of money? When I say a lot of money, let's say, for example, this is enough money to buy a house. This is enough money to go buy another car or a new car, update your wardrobe. You have children, you'd like to set up a college fund. Maybe you'd like to buy a boat. Maybe you'd like to invest in gold and silver. With the amount of money that I'm talking about, you would be able to do all of those things. And if you managed it well, you would be able to get through the rest of your life with that money. Before we go through what the narcissist actually did, let's back up a little bit. Let's talk about the conversations before that actually happened. There were many times that you might have been up late with the narcissist or having those chats. Well, what would you do if you came into a lot of money? What would you do if you won a lottery? Well, we all know the odds on that. It's not very high. What would you do if Grandpa Jack had you in his will and you got X amount of dollars? What would you do? Well, now those were conversations that I actually had with a narcissist, and we both talked about what we would do for the other one. And both of us included each other. Now, I knew that the narcissist wanted to start a business again. And so I said, well, I would do XYZ to help you get liftoff on that business again. So now, fast forward, it actually happens. And the narcissist comes into a large sum of money. Now, a couple things happen. The narcissist did not tell me. Instead, I have a friend of a friend, ring, ring, my phone rings, and I get this call, hey, blah, 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 blah. So-and-so got X amount of money in this will. He's telling a lot of people about it. And so I wanted to talk to you about it. And she says, you do know what I'm talking about? And I said, no, I don't. So she began to tell me a little bit more information. And she, all along the way, she was kind of, how do I describe this? Almost upset that I wasn't gunning for the money, or that I hadn't heard about it, or that he hadn't come to me to tell me about it, and that, something should be earmarked for me. And to me at the time, I was on the outs with a narcissist, so I really didn't care. Now, so a few days later, I guess, she went through her sources and found out and was able to call him and talk about it. And I don't know what all she said, but she was on the phone again with me, and she was all about, well, you've known him X amount of years, and aren't you guys really tight and this and that? And I said, not really. This is not somebody that is looking for a committed relationship, but you've been kind of significant in that person's life for a long time, haven't you? And I said, yeah, I have. But the narcissist, I didn't call him the narcissist, but I said, that person doesn't treat me that way. She was busting at the seams about this because it was quite a sizable chunk of money. And she wanted me to get something out of it. And I thought, well, that, great. That's a wonderful friend, very gracious, and she is. But I was really curious to think, I wonder what the narcissist is going to do with all of this newfound money. Then it's found out that, of course, well, it's going to take a while to get that money. It could be several months. So one day shortly after that, I was out with a girlfriend and we bump into the narcissist, and it came up in conversation, or shall I say, he brought it up. So nonetheless, he was telling her how long it was going to take to get the money. And even those moments, I was beginning to see a glimmer of what it was going to look like when the narcissist came into all of that money. So it was right then and there, it literally was right then and there that I decided internally. I didn't say a word about it to anybody. And I don't telegraph what I'm going to do, ever. And I suggest that you not ever do that to the narcissist as well. I find that that will serve you very well if you can learn to do that. I knew that the narcissist already had a massive ego. So I thought, wow, okay, this person coming into a lot of money, it's only going to get a whole lot worse. So I went on with my life. And about 6 months later, the narcissist needed a ride somewhere because he wanted to get some vehicle. And of course, if he was going to buy that vehicle, then he needed somebody to drop him off there, because then if he was going to buy the vehicle, he would be driving that vehicle back. So I'm not going to go through what happened in this episode because it was a doozy. Because at that time, I had already decided that I was done, finito, with that person. So that will be a different episode, but I'm going to stop it here and I'm going to have to make a part 2. Okay.